What's going on? This is Ryan with Automatic Comics, and up next, got a pretty crazy book in here. I recommend checking it out because it's definitely not one I expected to pick up. Stay tuned. Alright, so before we get started, please remember to hit that like button and hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content like this. So there's just one book in here. I thought this was kind of an interesting package because I actually picked this book up from, I bought it from Instagrails, who is a intermediary on Instagram, similar to Elite Comics 11 that I've talked about before. And however, this seller was in the UK, and so this book came quite a ways to get here. But the thing I thought was interesting was that the when I took off the label underneath was from Germany, and so this box it's been all over the place. This box started in Germany, then it made its way to the UK, and now it has finally made its way here to the US to me. And let's see. And I wasn't quite sure what the best way to open this one is because it's almost like maybe like a record box or something, but I think I picked the right way. There's two pieces of cardboard in here. There's that. Oh, and then there's two more pieces of cardboard with the book inside. So this book is going to be potentially a little frail. I might do a flip through in it because it's not a book that I feel like you'd see very often, and so I thought doing kind of a flip through would be cool with it. Now let's just cut this last little piece of tape here. There we go. Yeah, that looks really nice. Now this book looks a lot nicer than the grade actually is for it. The reason is that there's a very large spine split. It goes up most of the side. However, I was told that it was attached to the top staple, so I might not do a flip through on this one. I'm a little nervous if I handle that spine too much, that I'll end up detaching the cover, which would really suck. So this book is Manhunt number 14, and this is just a crazy cover to me. You've got this kind of like bondage, woman in the red dress, and I've mentioned that before. It's always a woman in a red dress on these covers. They seem to get in trouble a lot in comics. But this tiny man, with a syringe that I don't know if he's stealing her blood or what he wants. But Manhunt has some interesting covers to it. This one is from 1953. It's actually 36 pages, so it's similar page count that you would see with more modern books. It has L.B. Cole interior art, so I thought that was kind of cool. It's not credited as an L.B. Cole cover. It doesn't look like an L.B. Cole cover to me. I actually can't figure out exactly who did the cover. It's not credited on like Go Collect or the comics.org, that kind of thing, and so I don't know who exactly did the cover, but it does have L.B. Cole interior art. Only 28 universal copies on the census, and just a pretty cool, kind of would call it a pre-code horror type cover. I don't know if you call it horror or not, or some type of suspense, but I mean there's like a mummy in the thing in the back there, and just it's got one of these hypodermic needle covers which are always credited on the slabs, something that makes it kind of a cover that was of importance because it had kind of a shocking detail to it. But I'm gonna get into this book and just make sure that all the pages are there, and like I said, we'll see if I do a flip through, maybe not, but I'll at least try to show some of the interior art. Alright, so before I get started, just so you can kind of see, you see how it presents really, really well. Like above its grade, it's probably about a 225 based on the length of the split on the spine, but the only real damage on the front, you have this little nick on the side up there, and you've got a crease on the corner down there, but in general, bright colors, really nice presenting copy. Alright, so whenever you open one like this, if it's got tape like this, just take that tape off. Don't even mess around with it and risk getting a tape pull on that cover. And we'll take a look at this book. Yeah, so it definitely looks like it's attached to that top staple, but yeah, I want to be very careful with it. It is detached at the bottom, and you can see how big the spine split is here. It goes all the way up to here. So, let's see, what is that? Maybe a 6-inch, 6.5 inch split. And so, when you have a spine split like that, I mean, the max you're gonna get is maybe a 3. Think of it like a tear, and so that's like having a 6-inch tear on the cover. And I don't think you'd get a 3. I think a 2.5, even though it's a really nice looking copy. So I'm hoping it gets 2.5. I am planning on getting this one graded. I didn't see anything on the interior or the front cover that would make me think that there was any color touch or anything. And there's no real big places on here where you would expect color touch. So that's something else to just be aware of when you're looking for color touch. A lot of the reason that it would be there is if there's some type of crease or fold and that somebody's trying to fill it in. And if there are no creases or folds on the cover, there's very little reason for somebody to try to touch that cover up. But we do want to still make sure that all the pages are there. Now the back cover also has a tear on it. So take a look at the back cover here. So the back cover has a tear up in the top right here. But in general, again, colors look really nice on this copy. So we'll check the page count. All right, and so then staples are attached. So that's what we want to see. All right, so all the pages are there. There's something a little, I don't know if it's concerning or what that I see, and so I'd love to hear in the comments if you have experience with this. I don't think it's interior page trimming. It looks too uniform, but here, I'll try to show it. So you can see on this page over here, you can see, it's tough to see in the light, but this page here is shorter than the others. And there's a second page later on that's the same, that it's about, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch or so shorter. So maybe it's a little easier to see. I don't know, it's tough to see there. Came across not this exact issue, but an issue in one of my prior books where I flipped through and there was what's called a half sheet. And so where it's a single page on one side and there's no page on the opposite side of the centerfold. And it was very helpful talking to people through the comments because that's where I got some information about that. So I wanted to ask if anybody has seen this as well, because I don't think this is internal page trimming. I don't see any reason why somebody would have trimmed an internal page. It doesn't look like any of the pages have been replaced. Like married, the wear all looks the same. I haven't seen that before, and so I'm wondering if anybody else has seen that. Because normally if I saw something like that, I might think like an internal page was trimmed, and I don't see any reason for doing that here. You might expect that on like the centerfold, where the centerfold, if it was detached, it got kind of like beat up on the side, and somebody might think of, they're cleaning up that edge. But I don't see any reason to do that here. And so if you have seen that before, if you flip through some Golden Age books and come across that, like I said, with Golden Age, there's always some weird stuff going on, and it's not necessarily always some type of trimming or restoration. A lot of times it's just the way that production was done at that time. Just be non-uniform pages that were put together, and it just ended up that they didn't cut evenly. But I would like to hear in the comments if anybody else has seen that, just so I can kind of get an idea. Like I said, I'm planning on sending it in to get graded anyway. It would be a huge disappointment if it came back as trimmed on an interior page. That would really suck. But I would like to know, let me know. If you enjoyed this video, thought this was useful or interesting, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content like this. got more videos over here if you'd like to see some of my other videos, and the subscription button right here if you'd like to subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video.